Look at the timing. This is 17 seconds. You are getting some of the most prized possessions in the game, which are these extracts, while you're ranking up food. Hey guys, SMZ here. We're back playing Raid Shadow Legends. And guys, today I have a special video for you. So this team that you see in the background, this is my Phantom Shogun's Grove team that I used to farm relatively quickly. This is a 9-second team. My V6 is basically my crit damage tank. So she takes the initial debuffs and then basically all the others just keep hitting until the boss is dead. And it's extremely quick. There's the first newt, second newt will go, and the Soul Reap will proc, which will Soul Reap wasn't even needed in this run. So 9 to 10 seconds, that's what I get. But I started thinking, what if you can do this dungeon without needing 5 champions? And I started experimenting. I experimented so much, I ran out of my gems, I ran out of my energy. Plarium, give me access to test server so I can run all of this without going bankrupt. Because yes, I have to buy gems in order to make these videos and in order to test these crazy compositions. I do have good news though. So one of the teams that I did come up with is this team right here. So I'll showcase multiple teams. I'll showcase some trios. I'll showcase some duos which allow you to do the same thing in different combinations. So this is a team I came up with. These are 2 food champions. You can notice I ran this test so many times that these 4 champions who started off with level 1 are now at level 30. So Marius is a crazy good nuker. That is not any new information. I've been showcasing that in so many different team composition, in so many different videos. 9-piece Slayer, I've done recently a test video on which is the best gear set for Marius. If you want to check that out, I'll link that video right here. But Slayer has been, in my opinion, the standout. It does so many things. One other thing that it does is even when you have Enfeeble on, the Slayer can proc and it will do full damage. That made me think, Marius has another cool thing in his kit, which is the extra turn mechanic. So he has the ability to run out of that Enfeeble by taking these extra turns, right? Then came Lammasu, crazy champion whose A3 removes debuffs, fills turn meter, and resets the cooldown of all skills. So I started thinking these two will go great. There's one problem though. Lammasu's AI on her A3 is very unpredictable. It becomes less unpredictable when there are only 2 champions remaining though, her and Marius. And then she gives the A3 only to Marius. So what I'm going to showcase here, and this is a team that I am using presets, but you can run this team without presets. I'm going to showcase both of those to you. So what happens here is that the boss starts off. Renegade is the crit damage tank, has the highest crit damage. So he puts the debuffs on her. Lammasu starts off with his her A2. Marius goes. Everybody else dies. Renegade did give the reset. Make sure you realize that. Marius goes again and then reset, and a third time finishing the boss. Look at the timing. This is 17 seconds. This was very good RNG because Marius got the second reset on his own. Normally doesn't happen. So this run takes anywhere between 17 seconds to around 35 seconds. But still pretty fast. I'll run this one more time. Let's see. So same thing again. Debuffs on Renegade. Starts off with the A2. Marius starts off. Drops down to half health because of Slayer. Debuffs are on. And the boss should kill soon. He didn't this time round. That's fine. We're still dropping his HP. There's the reset. Because the people weren't dead, she gave the reset to one of the food champions. Completely fine. Marius will still nuke. What you do need is a 6-star Marius in this team. 6-star Marius obviously does a lot of damage, but also the fact that the shade counter, he will start lowering it down significantly. So this time round, it took 30 seconds because the boss didn't kill all the other champions in the second hit. So the reset went to somebody other than Marius. That can happen, but this team still works. Now I'll run this team without presets. So let's run this without the presets. So let's go. Presets are off. And now what's going to happen is Lammasu is going to start off with her A3, giving it to Renegade. Marius takes his first turn. Renegade sacrifices HP. And then basically another reset. And Marius goes. Boss should kill the team around about now. Perfect timing. Decrease speed is on. Shade counter is high, but Marius having the 6-star blessing helps here to decrease the shade counter, and the boss is dead. So it works without presets as well. Now, I have experimented running this team without Lamasu or without Renegade. It still works, but you need higher stats on Marius. I'm gonna showcase my Marius towards the end of the video, and then you can decide whether you have enough stats or more stats than me to make sure that works. Another thing I thought is right now we're using just 2 food champions. What if we were to use 3 food champions? So not a trio, but a duo team. So for that, what I tested was this lovely lady from the Hydra, who is Mithrala Lifebane. Again, let's put in new fresh food champions here. So Mithrala has a 6-star blessing for me, and she is in a 9-piece protection set. Both of those things are important, and she's faster than Marius. So this team with presets will be even faster, but I will run it without presets because again, for running food, it's better to not have presets. So this team should work pretty nicely. What happens here is now the debuffs do go to Marius, which is unfortunate, but again, with the extra turns, he is going to run out of them. No Slayer procs happened this time round, which will make the run slightly slower. But doesn't matter. All the others are dead, and now we're just powering through. Mithrala is great with the 6-star blessing because she keeps decreasing the shade counter, as you saw, all the way down to 1. Marius takes the extra turn, heals. He's down with his enfeeble to a very low count, completely gone. If Mithrala right now gives the cleanse, she doesn't. Again, with the presets, the cleanse will happen right now if you would prioritize cleanse, and then Marius can hit even harder. But there you go, the team still works. 43 seconds. This team has worked anywhere between 30 seconds to 1 minute when you're running it without presets, and when you run it with presets, it's a little bit faster. I can run it one more time just to see that it does work consistently. Hopefully there are Slayer procs which will make the run faster. Let's see. Only 1 Slayer proc, and now Mithrala should cleanse. That's perfectly fine. Also boost survivability. So having the protection set matters a lot because it makes Marius do more damage, obviously, but also the buffs don't get removed, right? Which is a big advantage. Again, with the extra turns, he's running out of the enfeeble slowly but surely. Cleanse, please come in. Mithrala, cleanse, please. He keeps healing, he keeps hitting, and around about now, he should be getting back to his skill. There's the cleanse where it was not needed. Mithrala. But doesn't matter because we will kill the boss. Again, 44 seconds. I've run this numerous times. As you saw earlier, the 3-star champions who were at 1 when I began the testing were up to 30. Tested it several times. It works perfectly fine. So you can use either of those teams. And if you're struggling, you can again bring in Lamasu here as well for the ultimate combo. But this is pretty good. And the XP that you get from here is also not bad. I think you get per champion around 6,000 XP per each run, and then if you do a super raid double run, then just does double that amount, or almost 12,000 HP per run, which is pretty sweet. You are getting some of the most prized possessions in the game, which are these extracts, while you're ranking up food. This past weekend, where we had the tournament with the Phantom Shogun, the Gear Ascension tournament, which is going to be a big thing now, and it will coincide with Champion Training Tournament, which it did this past weekend. So this is going to be something that you can use. Now, with that said, let's jump into the champion builds. And yeah, just wanted to flag, if you're watching up until this point, there's a good chance you like the video. So please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'm relatively new. I make content around finding new and cool champion builds and crazy teams to do things that are not really meta at the moment. So please do hit the subscribe button. It helps me out tremendously. Also will help me out push Plarium to finally give me the test server access. Please do Plarium. And then, yeah, thank you very much for all the support thus far. And let's jump into the champion builds. So Marius, I've showcased him previously many times. 9-piece Slayer, which I also, again, as I mentioned at the start of the video, I've tested in my opinion, and as a result of those tests, it is the best build for him. So he is rocking 257 speed, 6.5k defense, 387 crit damage, and 355 accuracy. Then he is wearing Cat's Case, which also helps tremendously. And he has Crushing Ren on the 6-star. And apologies. and Helm Smasher on the tier 6. Mithrala is in 9-piece protection. I do need to rank her helm to plus 16, but 9-piece protection helps us out tremendously. Very high defense, very high speed, almost 300, 437 in the accuracy. You do have to remember one of the cool things about Mithrala is that her accuracy normally goes towards her resistance, which is why she's so popular in arena defense, for example. But in this case, it won't work because her passive is pretty much always locked out because of the Phantom Shogun. No relic on her cruelty on the 6-star, as well as War Master on her tier 6. If you want, you can take off War Master for a support mastery. That's perfectly fine as well. That's Mithrala. Then we have Lamasu, who is in a very good build, the ultimate combo when you really value the one of the skills of your champions. In this case, it is her A3. Merciless, 4-piece, and Reflex. 30% chance to decrease a random skill cooldown and a 40% chance on the Reflex. And they do work together. Quite high speed, 283. Decent survivability, 3.3k defense, 77k HP, 428 on the accuracy. No relic on her cruelty as well on the 2-star. I'm slowly working my way towards getting higher blessings on her. I do need to finish off the masteries on her, but War Master, I did test her out quite a few times on the Chimera, but I do use her in my Nightmare Hydra team. That is why her build is like it is. Renegade then is basically just built around having the highest crit damage. So anything that gives crit damage, I've put on her. Crit damage gloves, 3 times crit damage rolls, quad crit damage rolls, everything crit damage to pump her up to almost 400 crit damage, which is higher than Marius. No relic on her, Phantom Touch on the blessing. I think I was using this at one point for the Fire Knight. That's where the blessing comes from. And then Eagle Eye to pump up her accuracy to reach those high numbers. So that's the build, guys. I hope this video is useful. I hope then this will help some of you guys building up your teams to be able to farm food while farming for these juicy oils that you can use to ascend these artifacts. I'm really looking forward to this mixer whenever it comes up. I have a lot of lower oils, a lot of higher oils, but the middle oils is always an issue basically for everybody. So yeah, I hope the video is helpful. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.